graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
You know, I've been from one side of this fandom to the other. In all that time, I have seen a lot of things. Above all that, there is one thing I am absolutely certain of. I am the villain of this story. You know what time it is, Valhalla? Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. Good morning, Heiress of Chaos, Purple Valkyrie, Chris Persia, the Wrench of Wrenches is here. Keely Chow, Roll Tide, Keely Roll Tide, Dee Myers. Good morning, Gun Bunny, Psychodorf 9. Good morning, Pod Racing Palpatine. Robert Pearson, thank you so very much, Rob. I'm fighting him, brother. Thank you so very much. Rambling Canuck, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Jester of Sin, good morning. Justice for Depp, good morning. Good morning, Gun Bunny. How are you guys doing this morning? Roll Tide, Keely. Oh, man. This morning with me is the one, the only, the villain of villains, General Zod. Good morning, Mr. Zod.
Good morning, and in case you guys don't know, it is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in all of YouTube today, Mr. Zod.
How have you been doing, brother? It's been a while since you've been on here.
Yeah. It's been a long week. It's been quite a testament of endurance. It's been a rough week for anyone who's followed me, and I'm so glad to be on your program this morning.
Well, I was on your show. Oh, what was it? Was it earlier this month? Was it last month? I don't know. It's been a while. A lot has happened here at Mornings of Mischief, and I understand a lot has happened over at Zod's Kingdom. But I know that when I guested the last time I guested on your show, I had a fun time. It was cool. PB, I got to meet a couple of people. Your Cyber Wolf, I got to meet him. I got to meet PB. Some pretty cool people. Got to hang out. We got a hashtag trending. Anal pine cone.
Yes. It was hilarious because I wasn't planning that. We had like a random I pulled some articles and stuff. I got to pull you into the world of Depp and Heard, and we got hashtag the pine anal started. So that
Pine
was
anal.
Yeah, that was started by the ever lovely my awesome mod Cherry K. So, and that thing trended for like 2 weeks. So it was a lot of fun. Uh, I definitely would love to have you back on another wacky night. I know I pulled you from the morning realm. Mine is normally about the nighttime because we've always been a bit of night owls. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and it's different. It's different. Mornings and nights are completely different animals. We get up and we take a big stretch and jump into being, our wacky selves in the morning. Some people don't do mornings. I know I've gotten messages since I started. You're absolutely crazy. For what? For doing a morning show. Why? Because nobody gets up that early. Yeah, they do. Bunch of people get up that early. Bunch of people are getting up and starting their day and drinking their coffee and going to work, and not as many people going to work. I know this has been hard on a lot of people, and the last year. Some people aren't getting up and going to work anymore. They're walking into their guest room that are now offices and working. Things have changed. The game has changed, but one thing that hasn't changed is mornings. And, I love getting the opportunity to get up in the morning and do this. I love waking up and starting my day with each and every one of you in the morning. Whether you are a guest on this show, whether Psycho Dwarf, Skull Brother, whether it is in the chat, whether it's on the show, whether it's in a message, I give people, have you seen this? Have you seen this yet, Loki? Have you seen, can you believe this? Can you believe they said this? Can you believe they fired this person? And I love it. I absolutely love it. So,
well, you have an advantage, sir. You have an advantage because you get up early. You get your people over here in Valhalla to get amped and psyched, and you have a distinct advantage because you can get to all the great news. See, I feel like by the time I start my show at night, everybody has had 15 videos on a subject that I'm just now getting to. Like,
sometimes it works out that way. Sometimes it doesn't, though. Sometimes I feel like I'm like, I start out my day and I'm talking about something, and then in the middle of the day, something will happen and I have to wait. I have to wait till the morning to talk about it. There have been times that I've gone live, like, in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day because something huge happened. And I feel like, man, I've got to talk about it, and I've got to talk about it now. I can't wait I can't wait. 5 dislikes. Really? We got 5 dislikes this morning? The intro's not even done. The intro's not even done, and we got 5 dislikes. Somebody's on a hate campaign.
I
That's
am
so funny.
sorry. I've brought the people who hate Zod over here. It's hilarious because since I've gone on my tirades and covering some of the things that I have, I've started my shows before the intro even goes. The thumbs down, but you know what? Good for them for giving you a thumbs down because that means they're engaging.
Someone's jelly. Somebody's jelly. Robert Pearson, you doing something right, Loki? Damn straight we are. Rob. Somebody's jelly. Someone don't like it. I mean, we haven't even dropped a topic this morning yet, really. We haven't even dropped the topic. I mean, the topic is join us for a chat with General Zod. So
they saw Zod and they were like, "Oh, 2 villains at once. We can't have this. We can't have 2 of the most hated villains in all of YouTube talking. This sets a dangerous precedent."
Oh, yeah, yeah, Dave G sound. I love it, brother. I love it. It's 5 people who took the time out of their day to show they do really care. That's right. Thank you. Thank you so much. You love me. You really love me. Oh shit. How many times um how many times can you say you start your day with a smile on your face with people pointing a finger at you?
Well, I
No.
mean, that seems to be the big thing around here, right? With everything happening, uh, you know, people being jealous and trying to take you down a peg. We've been seeing that running rampant these days.
Yeah. Yeah. People always trying to take you down. Whether that is canceling Gina Carano, whether that is canceling Loki's Mornings of Mischief, um, whether that is showing the hate. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter what it is. Someone's always going to be out to try and get ready for you. And Lucifer Chavez, good evening or good morning. I don't know why I said good evening. I'm not going to have an evening show today. Maybe that's what I was thinking about, that evening show. Not having the evening show tonight. I don't know. Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you? How are you doing? So, I asked you on here a couple of weeks ago. I of course was on your show, and it wasn't what a day or two after that I saw that you had lost a family member.
Yeah, it was I had you on that Friday. Um, if you guys don't know, on my channel I do Fridays, Saturdays, and if my good mate wants to, because he's from Australia, so he likes might. Um, I do something with him, but I was getting ready to do my show on Saturday. Had my topics all set up. Tags all going, audience all ready for some fun and laughter. And right before I get ready to go on, I found out that my uncle committed suicide, and I got the call literally 10 minutes before I was supposed to call him on from my dad. Um, and I get ready to go on, and I had to tell my people that were waiting. I was like, look, guys, before we get started, this stream's gonna be a little bit different. And I laid out the situation, and yeah, it was tough. I canceled my show on Sunday, and I took the day. Irony is that when this happened, it was before Valentine's Day, so my girl was there to comfort me. But yeah, it's been a hell of a week.
And anything like that is always, it's always going to be tough. I mean, especially when it's family and someone well, especially when they are the ones that decided to make that choice. But there's more to this than just that happening. Your uncle used to work for a company that a lot of my fans and a lot of my family may know, called the World Wrestling Federation. That is now known as the World Wrestling Entertainment. This is a company called the WWF that is now known as WWE. He used to work for them.
Yes, and what most people don't know is there is a dark side. Well, you guys have probably guessed that there's a dark side to it. It's been in documentaries and things like that. But what you guys don't know is there's an even more heinous side to it that my uncle had been a part of, and the feelings and things that had been happening had been building up. My uncle was 50, and this was something that um, I solely blame the company for, because it was something that was going on within the company that led to these chain of events that started my uncle down this path, and it's kind of the reason why I've started taking a harder stance towards corporations, because what happened with my uncle was a direct result of their actions and what had been going on for years, what he had been holding inside, um, what he had been trying to say. And like the media does, like entertainment does, they've been suppressing and holding back these truths from people. And for years, guys, this has been happening since the 80s of wrestling. You know, but it got headway in the 90s. This story actually broke in the 90s, and no one, absolutely no one, did a thing about it. And the sad part is, it took my family member, my uncle, someone close to me, to lose their life for anybody to even want to talk about this. And since we've started this, my dad has gotten threats from people. That he's had people within the company trying to discredit him, and it's given me a new perspective and a sole mission to rain hell down upon all of these companies, because I've reached a point now where, to me, they are all the same. They all have the same business model. Granted, the WWE has caused people to lose their lives. And the more that I dig into it, and the more that I uncover not just what happened with my uncle, but what's happened to numerous people over the years, it's quite horrifying.
Do you think that from a corporate standpoint, the company itself is to blame?
I 110%. If there was a number beyond that, I totally blame them. Now, look, a lot of people have come at me, and it's a fair point to say, well, oh yeah, how can you blame the company for their actions? Well, if you guys don't know, there has been sexual abuse going on in this company for years. And my uncle had that situation happen to him, and it was by higher ups. And the people that are in charge, and by people, I mean Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon, both knew about it, and they knew about the individual doing it. And even in an interview, and you can look this up on YouTube, it's not hidden, it's not taken down. When confronted about this, Linda McMahon herself played it off like it was a joke that no one knew about. We're talking about kids now. My uncle at the time was about 15, 16 when this was happening. And, he wasn't the only person this happened to. And the context and the stuff that they mention, they go, oh, we knew about it, but, no one took it seriously, because we all just thought, oh, that was just who this person was. Oh, ha, 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 ha. And meanwhile, when my uncle and other people tried to bring this up, because WWE is what it is, they made a joke about it and they laughed it off. And, for about 40 years, my uncle tried to bring this up to people. And, he never got a voice. He never had anyone speak for him. And with this happening, I have decided to make it my personal life's mission to be the voice that my uncle wanted out there. Uh,
How much of this did you know about? I'm not talking about like I'm talking about your personal experience. I'm not talking about his as far as like how did this impact you? Did you know about this when you were growing up? Was this something that you overheard? Was it something that the family talked about? Was it something that came out of left field? Was this something you had to grow up hearing about?
when I was a kid, I went to the WWE. I have pictures. I did not know that I got a chance to go see the WWE live. It was when Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior, that WrestleMania. Um, I didn't realize at the time that part of the settlement that they had received and part of Vince wanting to smooth things over, he had agreed to take me, my mom, and my dad, and my uncle was working with them at the time to a live show, and I got to go backstage. I rode in the limo with Vince and everyone. I got to meet the stars at the time and autographs and all that. And I had no clue what was going on. As a matter of fact, when I was when I was younger and I was at my dad's, he got arrested while I was there. My mom had to come and pick me up. At the time, I had no clue what it was about. And even growing up, as I got older, my uncle himself never spoke to anyone. The only people who knew were my mom and dad. But as I got older, my dad told me of the story and everything else. But he had, like most of us, thought because of where my uncle was at life, he had moved on. I mean, before he passed, my uncle had a gorgeous house in New York. Uh, he had a wife and 3 daughters. So on the outside, everything appeared as if it was fine and everything was okay. So when I heard the story when I got older, I was about in my mid 20s when they finally told me the whole situation. But I didn't have an interest in pursuing it or anything because I had assumed that, he had gotten past it and, he'd started a life and everything was good. Uh, at that time, I hadn't been covering what I was with the whole Johnny Depp situation and domestic abuse and things like that, and I didn't realize because he was more of a victim of SA, and I hadn't realized exactly before I started doing this research the mental uh, anguish that stays with this stuff, and I didn't know the psychology behind it. So I didn't realize that even though, yeah, he had this face, he was okay, everything was good on the inside, it was just stuff that was building up for years. These people interacting and having no remorse with him, and you know I think in the end, not even receiving so much as a, you know, our bad, nothing like that. It ate at him for years until, finally this stuff had been coming back up because there is an unrelated thing going on with the WWE right now. They're being investigated for concussions, and I had someone on my show last week about that who was talking about um, the WWE right now is becoming like the NFL, and a lot of the wrestlers are seeing long term effects from what they do due to hitting their heads on the mat and things like that. And then my uncle took his life. And so the WWE hopefully is having the worst month of their life.
Well, they've been in the news, and they've been in the news for all kinds of things in my lifetime. Everything from steroid abuse, allegations. I know. At one point in time, Vince McMahon himself was setting things up because they thought he would be going to jail. And on that occasion, I when I look back at that, I disagree with that, because it's these employees. It is their choice whether they are abusing steroids. It's totally up to them. And that's a totally different topic. But this isn't the only thing they have been in the news for. This company has company's been in trouble before, and I know that at one point in time, there was a letter when Linda McMahon was running for public office. There was a letter sent to her, or sent to the state, encouraging her to run for office. Do you know anything about that?
Oh yeah, so that whole thing. So when Linda McMahon was asked to run for office and got that opportunity, what most people don't know is she contacted my uncle, or more, she didn't even. None of the higher ups like Linda or Vince had words with my uncle. They went to their lawyer, Mr. McDivitt, and he had contacted my uncle to make sure he was on board with not saying anything, because at the time, the people who were opposing her wanted to talk to my family members about what was going on, you know, politics. So they were digging up dirt, and my family, my father, my uncle, they had incriminating stuff on them. And so they had got in contact with my uncle after not talking with him, because like this has been years now, right? And that run was recent. And they were like, yeah, you know, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, are you still on board? Are you going to say anything? And things like that. And that really triggered my uncle, because he had for years now been building his career and everything. He was bodyguards to CEOs. He started as a limo driver, and then wound up being a bodyguard to person from Snapple and things like that. So he was doing fairly well. And he called my dad, and he was like, you know, all these years, and they get a hold of me for that. And he was really hurt by that. Like, you know, this is years later.
Yeah.
And I mean, just think about that. I mean, for what he went through and the abuse he got. And they call him up so that they can make sure he's not going to say anything to ruin her chances at an office spot. It's just disgusting.
Now, I know the chat is, I know you guys are throwing a couple things out here, and I don't want to stray too far off topic, but there have been a variety of documentaries, everything from what Diamond Dallas Page has done for other wrestlers, opening basically a home, rehab. I know that stories like what happened to Scott Hall, Jake the Snake. I know that basically WWE has taken the stance of, if you aren't the best face for the company, we're not going to let you have anything to do with the company. And they just ignore you. And Wookie's firm say I went to a couple of Royal Rumbles when I was a little kid. Rowdy was my favorite. The Pied Piper. Yeah. Yeah. Piper's Pit. And he had his own stories about things that happened when he was a wrestler. Tell us a little bit about who your uncle was. Not to do with, what happened, but just who he was. Who was your uncle?
My sorry.
Okay. It's all right.
My uncle was a great guy. My uncle, if you guys have seen me on my show and the way that I open with my intro, that's how my family in general was. But my uncle and I always got along more because me and my uncle both have a similar sense of humor. And my uncle was the kind of guy who could go into any room, and he just had that gift that most people don't have, where he could go into the room and make everybody laugh, make everybody smile. Not so much the center of attention, but more of you can help but to pay attention when he was in the room because he was so funny and outgoing. He was a great father to his daughters, a great husband to his wife. He worked hard. He came up, and my uncle had a lot of jobs, and he came up with my dad and their family, and they went through a rough situation. And some days just they all grew up in New York, and just some days essentially out in the streets, hustling and doing what they had to do. And my uncle was in that type of environment, and literally everybody from my family went from having hardly anything to building their own careers. My uncle, like I said, bodyguarded to CEOs of various companies, built his own home for his family, like out in Long Island, just built a beautiful home. Uh, you know, it's worth like $1 million now, I want to say, but at the time it was $350,000 home or something like that. And he custom made it for his whole family. He worked himself up to that point. All his daughters, we did a live stream. I missed the beginning of it, but we did a live stream of his funeral, and it was a small thing, but his daughters loved him. He was absolutely the best father. I mean, I have a daughter, and the way he was with his daughters, I could only hope to be able to leave that kind of impression with my daughter. They loved him a lot, and hearing them was probably the toughest part of that, because after the initial funeral, they were still there for, I think that was the hardest part of me watching that, was they were still there for that half. Devastated by what had happened. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Take your time.
It was, a lot of people loved my uncle. Everyone who met him, that was who he was. And he was only 50. He still had a lot of life, in my opinion. And because of what happened, it weighed on him. And, That's what they took from us.
When something like this, or anything like this happens in a family, it affects the entire family. And I know from experience that when you lose someone in your family and it is a situation like this, some people feel like they have to blame someone, or they have to blame something, whether that is the family member themselves, whether that is somebody else. It is one of those things that there is no easy way to say you can't blame them, and you can't blame it. It's blame is almost the wrong word for it. You had a wonderful relationship with your uncle. And the most important thing in times like these is to remember that relationship and to hold on to that relationship and not let that relationship be soured because of anything that's happened.
And I mean, the thing with this too is my uncle had called my father before he passed, and the last thing he said to him was he wanted his story out there, and that to me, it it it, it was the hardest thing, because at the end of the day, I know a lot of people go, well, are you just angry and blaming a company just because you need someone to be angered with? But my uncle, along with several other kids, and I'm talking kids, people, were sexually assaulted by people within this organization, and the people within this organization had kept it for years under Vince McMahon. When he was being investigated, chose to take steroid allegations over a sexual assault allegation. And do you know why that is? Because he knew he could survive allegations about steroids. He did. He beat it. But what his company couldn't survive is allegations about young boys being assaulted by people that he had in charge. And how I know and I blame this company personally is because if this was going on, and let's just use, for example, you had a hierarchy like Disney, right? You don't have one person you can target in that company. Well, you could say Joe from accounting dropped the ball, but at the end of the day, that isn't Iger running the whole thing, right? So
right.
there's no direct person. But make no mistake, Vince and Linda own WWE. They know everything that goes on in that company. Vince McMahon is a control freak times like 1,000. There is nothing in that company that he doesn't know about. And I can say with 100% certainty, because he said in an article that he knew what was going on and chose not to do anything about it. These people knew what was going on to these kids. They knew what was going on to kids, to children. It could have been your child, could have been mine, could have been, and by yours, I mean anyone in the audience, anyone who has kids. It could have been a kid that you know. And they chose to neglect this for years. As a matter of fact, they still choose to not take responsibility for years now. And we're not talking 1, 2, 3. We're talking going back, 25 years or so. They've still never released a statement, and their statements and things they've said are not even anything approaching an apology. So when people say to me, oh, well, Mr. Zod, how can you target this one company? I can, because the top people, the people who run it, who's supposed to be responsible, who are supposed to take charge of their people and are supposed to protect their employees working underneath them, chose to turn a blind eye. And for them, I have to say, you are vile, disgusting, nasty people, and you should be ashamed of yourself that anybody, not just including me, have been victims to your ignorance and your neglect. And if you're willfully ignorant, that's just as worse.
Did the McMahons send any kind of condolences when this happened? Did anyone in that world send any kind of condolences for your uncle?
They have not. They've not sent an F off card. They haven't sent a message, an email, a text, a carrier pigeon, smoke signal. Nothing. They've been completely and totally silent. You know, the first thing the WWE does, see, and this is the best company I can compare because this is probably the one most people aren't liking these days. But at least with Disney, they would send a half-assed apology, right? Or be like, oh, no, our bad, or we're progressive, whatever, right? But these people, their tactic for running for years is they don't say nothing. They just get their soulless, blood-sucking lawyer. And he starts the spin machine. They've already gone to different wrestling publications to try to discredit my uncle. So here's their apology, folks. Here's what they do. Instead of coming out and addressing the issue, that someone that worked for them, that loved their company and was still willing to go back despite what happened to them, despite that, their initial response is to go to wrestling magazines and start articles to discredit my uncle. Just think about that. That their first thing isn't to apologize, it's to attack and try to make up rumors or try to say, oh, this was from 40 years ago or whatever. So why are we worrying about this now? Well, why are we worrying about it now? Because someone just took their life because of this. So I think it's pretty damn important.
If you could say one thing, and I'm not just talking about to the WWE or former WWF, corporations in general. If you could say one thing to them, if you could give them one message, what would it be?
I am going to make it my life's mission and my channel's mission to rain the biggest amount of hell down upon all of these companies, because all of you are disgusting and vile. Disney, Warner Bros., WWE, maybe Disney hasn't killed anybody. Who knows? Maybe Warner Bros. Haven't, but you're all the same. How you treat people, how you take people's money and then do the vile things that you do. How you, if you're entertainment, blacklist people, or if you're WWE, how you just discard lives like they're pawns. I am going to make it my mission on my channel. And I might do it satirically or whatever, but I am going to be the biggest pain in the ass to these companies that they have ever in their life seen. I will make sure that they hate me, and I will love every goddamn minute of them hating me. I'm going to make it my life's mission to expose the grime and the corruption in all of you guys, because you're all the fucking same. And you know what? You guys need to realize one very important thing that every one of you sanctimonious assholes have forgotten these subsequent years is that, guess what? We give you money. It's not the other way around. We don't get paid to watch your shitty product. We don't get paid for you to destroy lives. We don't get paid while you sit back in your corporate suites and everything. We don't get paid for the pleasure of seeing you on our screens. We pay you. And you all seem to forget that. We pay you money. Entertainment is for us. It is not for corporate America. And I will make it my life's mission to make sure that you all get that point. I promise you, I swear as God is my witness, I will rain down hell upon every single one of you.
All right, brother. Guys, I have been talking this morning with Mr. Zod, General Zod, Neil before Zod, and about his uncle. And I want to thank him. Thank you for being here. Thank you for talking with us. I know this can't be easy. I know that anytime you talking about a past family member, that alone isn't easy. When we're talking about someone who has just passed and in the way that gentleman passed, that is even harder. Thank you so very much for coming on here and talking with us and sharing with us what you have. I know it cannot be easy, and you do your uncle proud. If anybody hasn't told you that, you do. This is not something that is an easy thing to do, to come on and share this, to come on and speak in front of dozens of people and tell this story, and tell us how you feel. That cannot be easy. Thank you, everyone who has been here today. Thank you, everyone in chat. We will not have a show tonight. 7 Kinds of Mischief will be back next week. Adega is moving, and some of you may know I had surgery on my jaw just a couple days ago. It is kind of difficult to talk, much less read a story. You know, I don't think I can continually speak for 30 minutes straight without taking a break, guys. So we will be back tomorrow morning. Again, thank you, Mr. Zod. Thank you for being here. Thank you for talking with us. Guys, if you have not checked out Mr. Zod's channel, he is so close to hitting 1,000. He is so close to inching over that 1,000 subscriber line. If we could help him this morning, if you guys could check out his channel, and if you like his content, please subscribe and ring that bell. He is so close to being monetized, and if you guys could check out his channel, I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys so very much. We will be back tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Jim Henson tomorrow morning, the director, what he did for cinema, what he did for the Muppets, creating the Muppets. And we are going to have some great guests. Again, thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless your family.
Thank you. I appreciate being on this morning, and I appreciate being able to talk to you, even though you have a tough time. Sorry about that.
I'm all right. I'm all right. I don't ever like to talk about this. This got out that they had cut me on my jaw in the ER the other day, and I don't usually talk. I don't usually, I do what I do. It only hurts when I yawn and when I talk a lot. I found that out yesterday night while I was on clobbering times. It started bleeding again, and stung like a bitch when I went to bed. But besides that, I'm all right. I'm good. So thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And thank you to the fine folks here. Thank you to everyone I've been reading the chat, and thank you. If you subbed, I appreciate it. Just so everyone knows, my reasons for wanting 1K, and I was talking to Mr. Loki about this, is because I want to have a big voice. I want to reach as many people as I can, because people need to know about these things. People need to be enlightened about what's going on, and that it's not just all of us angry trolls gathering together to take down a company because we hate their success. It's about people and their families, the family structure being broke down, people suffering real life tragedies, people just not being able to have what they want and being preached at and things like that. It's a combination of all these things. And you guys out there, all of you guys deserve so much better. All of you guys who watch Stone Loki here, all you guys who go over to my channel, you guys deserve to be entertained and to enjoy what you do. And companies need to realize this. All of these people who are out there and think that you owe them money, they need to be made aware. You don't owe them shit.
Hey, you just hit 1K, brother. You just hit 1K. Congratulations. You're at 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations, brother.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. It means a lot. I'm going to sit back and just let that gather, but thank you. And I promise you guys.
Keep up the hard work, man. I know you have a wonderful channel. You have a great channel. I had such a wonderful time when I got to guest. It was crazy. People insulting each other. And I was like, ooh, I can jump right into that. we were all having a good time. We were all having a good time taking shots at each other. Oh, well, Loki, you move. Oh yeah. And it was PB. It was such a great opportunity to meet all the wonderful people on your channel. And
I gotta have you back on, sir. I gotta pull you out of Valhalla for a bit. Have you come to the fandom zone?
Heck yeah. So congrats, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. So, wow. Thanks. I don't know what to say.
Go celebrate. Go pop open the champagne and celebrate. We're going to get out of here. Guys, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for being here this morning. Thank you so very much for subscribing to Mr. Zod, to General Zod, Kneel Before Zod. I love that opening. Kneel Before Zod. When you sent me that song, I was like, holy shit, that's a pretty cool song. All right, I can make an intro of that. I can make an intro around that. Hell yeah. So that was fun. Thank you. I know this couldn't be easy, and I'm just glad that we got some good here at the end of it. Something good happened at the end of it. Congratulations. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tomorrow morning. We will not be on tonight. Everyone, you have a great morning, and we will catch you guys tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.